I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me.
Is this thing on? Hey garden friends, welcome to another episode of AJ's Green Thumb. I'm excited to bring this episode to you this afternoon because it's about a crop that I've become very passionate about. Now, garlic, whether it's hardneck or softneck, is world renowned. Garlic is used in hundreds of cultures' cuisine the world over. You're talking from the Middle East to the Caribbean to Southern Europe, all over the world, garlic is used. Now, in my climate, which is Zone 7A, we tend to get pretty cold winters. And so the best option for me was to use hardneck garlic. Some of the varieties I've got are chestnut red, Romanian red, Georgian crystal. These are all suitable for my colder zone, Zone 7A. So behind me to my right are all my garlic. They're in this 4x8 foot bed. And then in the bed behind it, I happen to have several elephant garlic. So in today's episode, I wanted to cover a process called pulling the scapes. Now, pulling the scapes overall is supposed to ensure that all of the energy is placed into the bulb formation and the size. So pulling the scapes ensures that you have a bigger yield or larger heads of cloves in your garlic. This is my first year growing garlic in raised beds. This is my first year in actually growing a lot of vegetables in raised beds, because prior to that, I used to grow a lot of my vegetables in grow bags, pails, just regular containers. So I think it's only fair that I share my sources. So this website is called sustainablemarketfarming.com. And obviously the topic is about garlic scapes. So I'm gonna run through real quick some of the benefits of pulling the scapes. First thing to note is that when you start seeing the scapes appear, that means you have less than 3 weeks to harvest your garlic. Now I must say that these scapes, because, and I'll show you in a second, because they have gotten so long and starting to curl, I can tell that they've probably been growing for the past 2 weeks. So what are garlic scapes? Garlic scapes are the firm, round flower stems that grow from hardneck garlic. And they appear 3 weeks before bulb harvest as the bulbs size up. If these are removed, the garlic bulbs will be bigger and also easier to braid if you want braids from hardneck garlic. Factors such as day length, hot weather above 91 degrees Fahrenheit. So with these factors, the garlic cloves can double in size just before harvest. So the bottom line is the main benefit of removing scapes is that it'll increase the bulb size by 25%. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what these scapes actually look like and go ahead and pull a few. You check out a stalk of garlic. And as you can see, this right here with the pointed tip, that's a scape. And in fact, these are way too long, because when you start to see them protruding out of the crotch of the top of the garlic, you're supposed to pull them. So let's pull this one and see what happens. All right. So that came out relatively smooth. Place it in a tub of water. take hold of the scape right at the crotch and pull upwards. Nice clean break. So let's try pulling out an elephant garlic. Well, it's clearly a lot larger than the regular garlic, but that's still puny in my book for elephant garlic. And since I'm here for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and yank out an onion. Ooh, look at that big beauty. It's huge. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow some advice and kind of top some of these off for the last several weeks so that all the energy can be focused on the bulb versus the tops. All right, so that is some strong smelling yellow onions. Ooh. Okay, that's a lot of yellow onions to cut. So I'm not gonna do all that right now. I'll come back for it later. Just for the YouTube family to see. All right, you guys want my honest assessment? Maybe it's too premature. Maybe I'm too premature. But in all honesty, I am not impressed. I'm not impressed with the size of those garlic heads, and I'm not impressed of the size of that yellow onion. So clearly it's too early to harvest. Now I went through and I cleaned out all of the scapes on the tops of the garlic, and with this onion, which are all yellow onions, I went ahead and snipped off a couple of tops of the foliage on several of them. So I'll just be a little patient and let's move to the next task. So